watching a movie. It's called Wodehouse in Exile. And it's about an author, English author. They call him Plummy, Plummy Wodehouse. And he was tried, I guess, for treason. Now, I'm about halfway through the movie now. Quite a bit more to go. But what I get, he's kind of a English comedy writer and kind of just very, doesn't want to be a hater of anybody. Germans came, they occupied his home, they sent him to a German internment camp, and while he was in camp, he's writing these things and saying, well, they're not treating us bad, they're not, beating us, we're getting fed, But the Germans then took and decided to use him as propaganda. And they had another guy that's in the German camp, English guy, that really was a traitor and was working for the Germans. And so they let him out because they said, well, when you're 60 years old, you can get out because we have no interest in the older people like that. And then they put him on radio, and, he's doing his regular writing things about, trying to keep people happy, and he doesn't like to say bad things about anyone, and, and they used him as propaganda. And then the English said he was a traitor because he was being propagandized to America, saying, the Germans aren't that bad, they're treating me well, it's, And he didn't, I guess he just didn't get what they were doing. So he's just, this innocent guy. It's not that he's out there collaborating with the Germans to try to spin it. He was just, this guy that, didn't want to cause trouble, doesn't want to make waves, didn't want to, have anger towards anybody, doesn't want to hear about unpleasant things. Somebody was trying to, there's another camp down the way. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear the, he's that type of person. So I've got the cards. I want to pull some cards and see what does it say about Wodehouse. I don't know if he's still alive, if he's passed what. I know nothing about this guy other than what I've seen in half of this movie so far. But it says that, I'm up to the part where it says the worst joke he ever made in his life. He's just being honest and say, well, the Germans are treating me fine. I'm in the thing. I'm not, I'm not getting beaten. I'm not, I'm getting food. I'm getting, And so they just really used it as propaganda. In the center, it's about his feeling of trying to have strength and self-control. Now, he kept writing and trying to bring humor to those that were interned with him, okay? Because that's what he did. He wrote humor. So he continued to try to write humor. Above it, we have King of Swords, dominant and stern. Now, this could be either the German side that wanted to use him as propaganda, or it could be the English side that decided to try him for treason because they had him on this German radio show, and they're going, don't you want to tell the people of America that you're okay? Don't you want to let them know? And he's like clueless going, well, yeah, they might want to know how I am. It's just like, oh my God. Yeah, so foundation of it is art and collaboration. You know, they wanted to try him and say they had a strong case against him for being a collaborator with Germany, which is treasonous. So going into it, this is about looking at the world, the situation that was there, and taking action. The challenge is this competition and fighting, okay? Because of the war and the actions there, they're looking at taking action against him for treason, because the Germans were using him as propaganda. Hopes and fears, it's about conflict. He doesn't want to be involved in conflict. Okay? This was an abuse of power. Okay? This was the powers that be at the time abusing and using him. Okay? Yeah. Outcome with that is the devil. The devil. Bondage and toxicity. Underneath of it, we have emperor, set rules, and authority. The authorities are going to look at him. Hidden things. Oh, maybe he had ulterior motives that he was doing this, Justice. They took action against him and said he was conspiring with the Germans. Okay. Something to consider with it, to look at it, that's concerning was the actions, the things that were being transmitted, the messages, that he was, doing fine. The abundance, the luxury, okay? Just holding on, and we have that anxiety and stress. So it looks like, they just used him. They set him up. Both sides kind of set him up. The Germans set him up because he's just an easygoing guy, kind of, it's kind of like watching Harvey and Elwood P. Dowd. He just wanted to make everybody happy. Well, okay, he was an alcoholic. He was not a teetotaler, okay? He and he was just going along, with his rabbit, making everybody happy, Okay, you want me to go in there? Okay, I'll go in there, to the crazy bin. That's okay. Whatever if that's what makes you happy, that's what I'll do. I just want to make people happy. Well, I think this guy is the same way, that it looks like he was just used by both sides. He was just trying to be a real easygoing guy. Didn't want to make waves. If they told him to salute in a camp, man, he would salute. He was, okay, whatever you tell me, I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to, and continue to write and continue to try to make people happy. And it looks like that's what happened with that. Now I'm going to stop this here and watch the rest of it and see what happens with it, because like I said, it's an hour and 22 minutes and I'm into 42 minutes, so I have quite a bit more to watch. And I wanted to do this reading before I watched the whole of the thing. And I haven't looked up anything on the internet about it yet. But I do want to look at it and see what they have to say. But that's what I'm getting. He was used kind of both sides. And he was caught in the middle. And he was just kind of happy-go-lucky, clueless guy. You know, really didn't take anything really seriously. And was just doing his thing, being a writer. Oh my goodness. So we'll see if it's right or wrong, if this is right or wrong, but in fact he did get charged with treason, and he did get used by both sides. You just see the guy, like, you know, like I said, it just reminds me of Elwood P. Dowd and Harvey. Okay. Just, I'll go along with whatever program. Okay, just be happy. You know, just stay happy. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to leave this here and go watch the rest of it and see what actually happens. Well, I wanted to enter a quick little addendum to the reading that I did on this Wodehouse. Yeah, he was never tried for treason, but he was viewed by the British people as a traitor to Britain. And they did have a report about somebody else that was actually a traitor, but they never released the report that would have cleared Wodehouse. So he continued to be plagued by this. He left, he went to America, never returned to England. He was knighted in 1975, a month before his death. He died at 93. So all those years, they let the British public believe that he was a traitor, that he was collaborating with the Russians. With the Germans, Russians. I'm sitting here thinking about this thing. With the Germans, which was not the case. He was just simply, like I said in the reading, one that felt like Elwood P. Dowd. Okay? Just living in a different world, had nothing bad to say about anyone, and, you know, was taken advantage of by both sides. He did a lot of books. I guess they said something like 90 books he wrote. This series about Jeeves. Now, I think I've seen something about that before. So he wrote basically lighthearted comedy type of things. But what a sad thing. You know, the guy was just a lovable doofus, basically, that you know, had not a bad thing to say about anyone, didn't have ulterior motives, was just this, you know, guy without politics, without, you know, he just lived life in the moment where he was at. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here. Love and light. See you online.